So let's talk about crypto market update, and not just the crypto market update. We are going to talk about the bit of economic effects, because we're going to talk about the U.S. tariffs, the countries on which Donald Trump has imposed those tariffs, and the impact of those tariffs, what will happen to the economy and what will happen to crypto market. And I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. If you know me, you would know that I hate making longer videos. I like to be quick, not in everything. I mean, it would upset my woman if I'm quick in everything. But from the updates perspective, I try to keep it as quick as possible. So US has imposed some shocking tariffs like they have imposed tariff on Japan. Japan is one of their buddies from very old times. There was a time, I think, in 1990s, in 1980s. In those times, Japan used to be the #1 holder of US debt. Later on, China became that, and now, of course, even USDT, the crypto, holds a US debt. So it's among the top 10 holders, actually. So it is a bit shocking that they have imposed tax on Japan as well, and it's not little. The imposed tax on Japan, I'll tell you, it is 25%. And they have done the same on South Korea. South Korea is understandable because Samsung is there. And not just Samsung, they have so many other brands as well. But Samsung is a monster, it's a giant. They have 400,000 employees. They make clothes called FUBU. They make TV, they make fridges, they have contributed to Burj Khalifa in Dubai, the Malaysian Twin Towers. I think one of the tower is made by them. They make rockets, trains. Everything that humanity can touch, Samsung has pretty much made it. So I understand when they target South Korea, Apple and others, they can find it a bit challenging. But at the same time, Japan, it comes as a shocker. They have imposed it on multiple countries, including South Africa, 30%, 25% on Malaysia and Kazakhstan. Why is Kazakhstan charged is a questionable thing for me. It's this much relevant to the overall equation, but anyway. I mean, they used to be good in rockets and everything when it was part of USSR. Not only that, they were the one who made the game Tetris, what changed the overall gaming industry at that time. I think it was around 1982. But that was back in the days. Now, targeting them is like someone has a broken leg and you start hitting him in the head. Anyway, they have imposed 35% on Bangladesh, 36% on Cambodia, 32% on Indonesia, 36% on Thailand, and the list continues to 30% on Bosnia, 25% on Tunisia, and 35% on Serbia. Serbia comes as a shock again. It's a country that is in Europe, but European people, or at least from the European Union, they call it Serbistan. They add a stan to it, like Afghanistan, Pakistan, Hindustan, stuff like that, just to mock them. They don't see them as a nice country, and I know about it because I have worked with Serbians a lot. I had a director. I used to make content on makeup. So my models, they were from Serbia, and I had a director who used to shoot and record and direct for me, and he used to share stories, but they're not that relevant to the equation. But 35% on Serbia. Anyway, so, and just 10% on EU. The EU is slapped very slowly, and the reason for it is very straightforward and simple, because when Trump started this tariff war and he was saying 500% on China and 1,000% on this and 2,000% on that, at that time EU didn't react and it didn't say anything. And I think Trump and someone from Trump's team, they came out and they said, good boy, you didn't bark or you didn't say anything. And I think it's the reward that bone is thrown towards EU that you can chew on a 10%. But when we talk about the overall impact of this overall tariff, it is a disaster. It's not a good thing. It is going to have a negative impact on the economy, and I'll explain it to you in the most simplest manner. When you are introducing such kind of tariffs, people can switch. Yes, USA is the biggest shopping market of the world, where shopping mall, where all these countries have these shops inside that mall, because USA is a very unique country. It has the biggest population and the highest GDP per capita. It is the only country on the planet that has big population and high GDP per capita. Other countries in the world, if their GDP per capita is high, like South Korea and USA is same, but population is small. And if their population is big like India or China, then their GDP per capita sucks. It's around $2,000 to $10,000, while USA is $60,000 to $65,000. So there's a big gap. So that makes USA very unique. But at the same time, times have changed. Now, even countries like Afghanistan, people have access to products. If you talk about branded food, fast food, like Mr. Cod, which is fish and fry from UK, it is available there. Sachets of Starbucks is there. Monster, Red Bull, Pepsodent, Dove, whatever brand you can think of, the chocolates you can think of, they all are in Afghanistan. The world has changed dramatically. If they're getting charged 25 to 35% on tariffs, they might as well start looking into newer markets, and they will. They will. It's easier to sell it to those countries. They're close by. USA is all the way on this other side of the world. It takes months to make the shipment, and then you have to go through Donald Trump and so much trouble. I think that they might look into ease, and not only that, it also improves your cash flow cycle. If you're selling it to someone that can return your money in 2 days in comparison to someone who returns your money in 1 month, then you might go for smaller profit, a bit smaller, and have your cash faster, because then you can improve your cash flow cycle. It's a basic accounting thing. I'll explain it in a simple manner. So the product, you manufacture it, your money is stuck in it from the time you buy the raw product, then you manufacture it, then you send it out in the car, then it reaches that particular country. You can send it in any form. Then that person gets it, receives it, then they pay you. And then you get your money back. It goes through clearances of the banks, and it's a fucky process. It takes good amount of time. But if you're dealing with someone that is a neighbor close by, it takes 10% of the time in comparison to US, you would do that. So I think it is going to lead to a dent, and then finally USA will come out and they would say, hey, we are in a problematic place, the government, if they declare recession or they say that there is a challenge in the overall economy. I think that will lead to further panic and it would have a bad impact on the crypto market as well. It's a situation where you have cancer and the doctor hasn't told you yet, so you are not feeling so cancery. But the moment the doctor tells you, I think that's more than enough to feel a lot of cancer, and all of a sudden you will get way more sick than you were before. Same as a case scenario, if the economy in US is already bad, they have not announced it, it wouldn't feel so bad. But the moment they announce it, it will be a big fuck up. Other than that, there's nothing else. There is a way to still dwell around the market, and I can show it to you in my community. We are consistently making results. This is from 2nd of July, 180%. And I mean, you can see the percentages. It's something that we are doing on everyday basis. And these are results. It's only a channel where my VIP members, they come and they share results, and you can see the percentages and the date and everything. I mean, it's just so much, and it's every day. It's just too much to take your time on it. But I think that there is a way to go around in the market and still operate. That is what we do in my community. I think that irrespective of where the market goes, whether it is going up or down or sideways, you can still move around it. But at the same time, I think that those who are holding and they are playing the game of Michael Saylor, only buying and doing DCA and not selling, I think if the government of US doesn't fix its economy this year, I think 2026 is going to be as bad as 2025, and you will have 2 years of bear market. 2025 is already a bear market. Ignore Bitcoin. Altcoins suck. And same is going to be the case scenario of 2026. Bitcoin will suck too. It will not stay up next year. And that's pretty much it with the crypto market update.